California Governor Gavin Newsom spoke today for the first time since the state's public health director resigned. NBC News correspondent Aaron McLaughlin joins us now from Los Angeles. Aaron, what did the governor have to say?
Hey, Allison, well, he was asked repeatedly about the surprise resignation of California's public health director, Dr. Sonia Angel. She had been in her post for less than a year, really seen as a critical part of his team fighting COVID-19. Her resignation shortly followed this database glitch, the database that counts the number of confirmed coronavirus cases throughout the state was riddled with glitches last week, resulting in an undercount of the number of confirmed cases. That system, the glitches, have since been resolved, but there's a backlog now of hundreds of thousands of cases, and authorities say they can't let any of the counties, the 38 counties that are currently on California's watch list, off that list until the situation is resolved. So it's really seen as a huge setback in the fight against COVID-19. He was asked specifically in the press conference if there is any link between the database glitches and the resignation of his health director. Take a listen to how he responded.
And I accepted her resignation. We're all accountable in our respective roles for what happens underneath us. I don't want to err any more than that, but if it's not obvious, then I encourage you to consider the fact that we accepted the resignation, we appreciated her work. We all have a role and responsibility as it relates to what happens within our respective departments. None of this is easy. Technology is always stubborn and challenging, and all of these things being assessed, all of these things being considered in relationship to what we're doing going forward with our acting interim DPH director.
While they're still working through these data issues, he did point to the decline in hospitalizations here in the state, down some 18% in the last 2 weeks. That data is collected separate to the number of actual cases. And that's really, again, seen as good news given the extreme lengths California has gone to try to get the virus under control. Allison.
Aaron, doctors and tracers are saying that most new cases are coming from super spreader type events. We know there was just a massive gathering in Sturgis, South Dakota. What else are health experts saying about these major events?
Yeah, health experts are really upset by the super spreading events that are continuing here across the country, pointing specifically to this event in Sturgis, South Dakota. It was a motorcycle rally, some 10-day event currently in day 3. Normally, some 500,000 people descend upon Sturgis, South Dakota for that event. Organizers say they expect about half that amount, but that's still 250,000 people. South Dakota does not have a mandatory mask policy. NBC crew that was there this weekend said that they saw a lot of people there without masks. Really a source of frustration to health experts who point to this kind of an event as responsible for continuing surges that we're seeing here in the U.S. Take a listen to what Dr. Vin Gupta had to say.
The data is suggesting that 80% of transmissions are the result of maybe 10 to 20% of infections, likely because of events like this that draw a national crowd like in Sturgis. These are the types of events, these are the matches that will keep this outbreak, this fire that we have across the country from sustaining.
Now, once this motorcycle rally is over, all the citizens of Sturgis will be offered free coronavirus testing. But many of the people we've been speaking to there say they're extremely concerned, and that is small consolation.
Aaron, how about there in California? We know there are several religious groups bringing people together without masks. A California church had a service this weekend that drew protesters. There was another service in Portland, Oregon, where plenty of people weren't wearing masks. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's the Godspeed Calvary Chapel in Newsbury Park, California, which actually had a restraining order, temporary restraining order issued against it by a court, some 2-week restraining order stopping them from hosting their services indoors. Nevertheless, the pastor there going forward with that this weekend, meeting outrage, some demonstrators showing up. There was small scuffles that actually broke out between pro and anti-ceremony demonstrators. An example of the kinds of events experts say are really problematic. Also, another, as you mentioned, another service in Oregon. Hundreds of people turned out on the waterfront in Portland to hear a preacher speak. Again, very few masks seen at that event, though that event was hosted outdoors. But, you know, experts saying going forward, this kind of thing really needs to stop if we want to stop the surges that we're seeing in the virus across the U.S.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.